Hi, it's Kelly Morgan here from the Inspired Writer Studio at creativelife.com. And I want to talk about the rebel today. And I want to talk about that because you may be aware that you have one, and I am definitely aware that I have one today. That's how I decided I want to talk about this. My rebel today did not want to do anything it was supposed to do. It did not want to go to Pilates. It did not want to do this video. It did not want to do my morning routine. It did not want to do anything except watch TV, eat ice cream, which thank God I didn't. And I did go do all of those things. And so I want to talk today, what is the difference between your rebel? Why do artists need one? And how can it get in your way? How can you work with it so that it works for you and not against you? So the first thing that I want to say is, in a dictatorship, when a dictator takes over a country, they get rid of the artists. Those are the first people that they put in jail. That's because a really good artist usually has a good rebel. We're someone who has the courage to say what we really think. And writers in particular are notorious for writing their minds and causing trouble for dictator type of governments. So you might say, well, that's a good thing, to be able to speak up for what you really believe in. But of course, it can also get you in trouble. And today, mine almost got me in trouble because if I'd listened to it and hadn't been aware that that's what was happening, I would have just not done anything that I was supposed to do today. And I need to do those things. So I want to refer to a quote. This is my very favorite quote by Picasso. And he said, "It took me a lifetime to paint like a child." And that's how I know my rebel is up. It's different than just being resistant. It's different than a lot of things. It just is so childlike. It's like I was throwing inner tantrums today. And it's very important, I think, that we become aware. So I had to become aware this was going on today. And if you're dealing with rebelliousness, I would suggest that you want to become aware of it also. And in a tender way, to think of it as the child inside of you. I know from teaching Artist Way classes for 20 years, when people weren't aware of their inner rebel, they would rebel against things to their own detriment. So, for example, they might not come to class, or they might not do their creative work because their inner rebel was rebelling, or they don't like other people in the class because of that. But the problem is if they just weren't aware and making a choice to be with that rebelliousness. They were just letting that rebelliousness run them. And that's what I was in danger of happening today until I became aware of it. So my big tip for working with the rebel is just be aware that it's there, and to be gentle with it. I know what I've noticed about people and myself is when the rebel is up, and of course, remember, it's a child, it wants to throw tantrums, we get very parental. And I drew, let me see if I can show this, if it'll show up on the screen today. I thought, I am going to draw my inner rebel today. And you can see she's flat on her back. She's saying no. If she had a floor and I knew how to draw it, she would be pounding on it. And when my inner rebel is up and I'm not aware of it, I get very perfectionistic, critical, and parental. And the parental is, you need to do that, Kelly. And the problem with that is that just makes my rebel crazy. Then I sneak it behind my own self. So can you identify with that at all? Oh, hey, Dale. Hey, Paul, Bruce. Nice to see you here on the Facebook Live. Kelly Morgan here with the Inspired Writer Studio, talking about what it is how to work with our rebel. So parental is something that we do with ourselves and others, and it just doesn't work very well. So let me talk about parental statements. Again, you should do that. If you see should in a statement, or you can't do that, or just being harsh with ourselves or overly critical. I read a post by someone today who was a writer, and she said, "Oh my God, I noticed that so many other people are doing more work than I. They all," see generalizations come up then, "they're all doing so much better than me." Well, you can just figure you're in your little kid, and that is a form of rebelliousness, and the rebel can come up. So anyway, I think if you become aware of this rebel and work with it in a gentle way, just today what I did is I went and I just went to Pilates. I mean, I watched that clock the whole time, but I got through it. I did my writing, but I watched the clock the whole way through. I came home and let myself have a treat. I am doing this video earlier. It's part of a 21-day challenge to do videos. I'm just doing it and getting it out of the way, and I'm going to play tonight. And I think that's the big thing. If you notice that my little rebel there, she wants to play. And that's where that Picasso quote comes in about it took me a lifetime to paint like a child. I think it took Picasso a lifetime because he had to let himself tune into that rebellious child and let himself do things that he wanted to do. And I think what's cool about Picasso as an artist, whether you like him as an artist or not, is that he experimented. He just would do sketches and throw them out there. He just did it. He didn't think about it. And that's what we're doing in the Inspired Writer Studio, which I'm starting up this fall. And in the Inspired Writer Studio, we look at how do you get a daily writing habit up, no matter if your critic is up, no matter if your rebel is up. How do you become aware of that and just write? And one of the important things about writing is, in this program, is just to pick a small amount of time, 20 minutes a day. I was waiting for the right time to write, and my rebel was like, I'll wait till the weekend, I'll do it when I feel like doing it. And then I just thought, okay, 20 minutes a day. And the little kid inside of me could handle 20 minutes a day. And in only 3 weeks, I wrote over 8,000 words and 55 pages of writing in Scrivener. And that was just really kind of sliding sideways around that rebel. So if you'd like to write, just start writing and develop a consistent habit, either one, just take a look at www.creativelife.com. Give me a call. Send me a note here. Let me know, how are you handling your rebel? How are you using it to create art? How is it getting in the way of you creating art? And I'd love to hear from you. Talk to you later.